Today I want to show you how I use AI to investigate and resolve production issues. My name is Damien and I've been a software developer for about 16 years, and I want to share with you how I use AI in real applications every day. Let's dive in. In my project, I like to use Sentry for tracking exceptions. Here we have a real application that has a Sentry issue that we need to investigate. It's a Ruby on Rails application and it's using access tenant for multi-tenancy. So we can see here that we have an access tenant no tenant set error. No need to kind of get into the details. We're more interested in how we're going to actually use AI to investigate this. So to get started, let's install the Sentry MCP together. Claude MCP add Sentry. We're going to use the transport for HTTP and paste that URL that was given to us. So now if we start up Claude and we run /MCP, we should see here that we're connected. I previously already authenticated this in MCP, so we don't need to do that. Otherwise, we'd be prompted to sign in and use OAuth to go ahead and authenticate. Now that we have the MCP set up, we can go ahead and grab the shortcode from Sentry. So we're going to go ahead and grab that and now prompt Claude to help us investigate. So like I've mentioned in previous videos, I like to use natural language and talk to Claude as if I'm talking to a software developer. So I'm going to go ahead and prompt Claude accordingly. I need your help investigating a Sentry issue. Here is the shortcode. So let's go ahead and see what Claude comes up with. So it's going to grab that and use the MCP to find information. So we can see the first things it's going to do is it's looking to ask us for permission to go ahead and use the tool for finding organizations. So we'll go ahead and approve that. And so we can see it's found Tracewell AI Inc. That is the organization. And now it's going to go ahead and try to use the get issue details to find the individual issue itself. So what Sentry is going to do is it's going to provide it all of the context that we see on the right here in the web page. So information like the stack trace, the occurrences, and things like that. And we'll be able to use that to investigate its issue. So let's see. We have a high-level analysis. GitHub webhooks are failing when trying to create audit logs because no tenant is set. We have a root cause. The error occurs in this flow. So GitHub sends a post. It goes and calls audit success. And it ends up failing. So we can see here that it says, I now see the problem clearly. The bug is that the audit success call is happening outside of the tenant block where we call acts with tenant. The with tenant block basically ensures that everything occurs inside of there with a proper tenant scope. And instead, we're getting a failure because this is called outside of the with tenant block. We can also see here that Claude has gone ahead and provided us a fix. Now, I'm going to stop here and actually interrupt it. I'm glad that it found a fix, but before it actually implements that fix, what I like to do as a software developer is I like to try to recreate the issue. So I'm going to go ahead and prompt Claude accordingly. So let's recreate the issue in a test before we fix it. So let's see where Claude goes from here. It should find our test file. So it says good call. Let's write a failing test first. So it's searching for the file and it found one. Looks like it's reading that now, and it should come up with a plan for implementing a fix, or rather implementing a test. So it's found an issue with the existing test, and why this never got caught originally. It's that the test tenant is being set globally, which means it's always there, even without the tenant calls. So let's take a look at the failing test it wrote. It's going to unset the test tenant, create some data in our database using FactoryBot, stub the external connection find, and go ahead and verify that this should not raise an error. So in our case, it will because we're writing a failing test, and confirm that this is the scenario. So let's see what happens. It's going to go ahead and write that test. And now it's going to run it. So it failed. Let's see if it failed properly. It's now determined that yes, in fact, the error is demonstrating the bug. And so instead, it's going to go ahead and resolve the issue. And let's go ahead and approve that and see if now our test passes. So it went ahead and ran the test after the fix, and it sees that the test do in fact pass, and now it's going to run the entire spec file to make sure that it didn't introduce any regressions. It's going to go ahead and run our standard RB to make sure our linters are passing. And here's our summary. So it's gone ahead and found the issue and now has put together a fix. So you'll notice that I didn't have to really give it much context on what the error was or describe what was happening, tell it how to recreate it. It was able to do all of that on its own by using the Sentry MCP to pull that error information down and go ahead and do its own investigation. Now that that's fixed, let's go ahead and have Claude make a new branch and commit this and open a PR for us. So it's taking a look at what branch it's on and sees that it's on main, as well as what files have changed. So it should create a new branch. It's going to do this, looks like it's doing git checkout B, as well as adding some files and a commit message. So let's go ahead and approve that. The next thing it should do is, because I have the GitHub CLI installed, is it will go ahead and push this up and create a branch, create a pull request for us using that. And there it is, GHPR create with the title, some context, and how it resolved it. So let's go ahead and approve that and open that up and take a look. And here we are. We can see our PR is open. CI is going to go ahead and run. We can see the changes that Claude made. I always like to go through and verify the changes one more time. And there we have it. Claude Code has resolved the production issue for us. And that's how I use Claude Code to investigate real production issues in real applications. If you found this video useful, please like and subscribe. I'll be dropping more content like this every week. Thanks.